quick second and talk to you about what's going on when we're doing our draw holds. You see us talk about, I think John Demmer calls them long holds. I call them draw holds. You hear us talk about trying to become comfortable with the aim, learn to enjoy the aim. All holds do is it compartmentalizes the shot process. It takes the portion of the aim and puts it in a box, and it says, that's your aim. And it separates it from the release. I oftentimes hear some other sources out there say that blind bail doesn't have any carryover to target panic. Blind bail doesn't help. I will definitely push back against that, because what blind bail does is that, again, similar to a draw hold, compartmentalizes the portion of the shot process that is the release. And in order to be able to manage target panic and become comfortable at full draw, you have to know what that portion of the shot feels like. The other thing about draw holds is that it takes your shot process and it works out kinks in your form. And what I mean by that is when you do things in your form that aren't efficient or not biomechanically stable, it makes draw holds very difficult to do. Draw holds for me, my form starts breaking down between 45 and 60 seconds. When I'm on a high volume week, say 2 or 3 weeks out from a national tournament, NFA Indoor Nationals, so you can imagine that my volume right now is ramping up quite a bit. That's the periodization part of the programming that is done within our coaching, our online team and our coaching program. So draw holds are the same as taking a shot, except you do a 30-second draw hold, and that's like taking 15 shots. In my opinion, 50% of your volume should be drills, whatever drills you happen to do. It should be a mixture of both, and I think that mixture of that 50% of those drills should be focused on what you have going on at the time. Either the drills are maintenance for you to stay on top of your game, or helping you work through issues you may be having. It could be a release, it could be your aim, it could just be your entire shot process in general. But I'm going to quick go over a few things that a draw hold will identify, and potentially this video could help you identify some issues that happens in your shot process. Couple of things that you will notice, that if you are not in alignment and you are outside of the arrow and you're not able to hold the weight of the bow at full draw, your draw holds will not last very long. They will be quick, and I'll see if you can see what this looks like. So I'm going to close my stance up. I'm just going to draw back to the corner of my mouth. I want you to look at where my elbow is. Tell you one thing that does is that puts a lot of tension. Being in that outward position with the elbow outside the arrow so far really puts a lot of pressure on my fingers, and you can feel the pressure pulling this direction off of the string on my fingers. Huge problem, and it's going to induce plucking. It's guaranteed that if your elbow is outside of the arrow, you're going to see that your elbow has to finish the motion, and where does my hand go? In order for me to come straight back with my elbow outside, this way, I never get to finish the rotation of the shoulder. So for me to finish the natural rotation of the shoulder from an anchor point outside the arrow, my elbow has to finish the rotation, the hand comes out away from my face. So how do we fix that? Well, we don't close ourselves more. That doesn't do it. All we do by closing ourselves more is create you bring our arm closer to the string, and then we take away any mobility for us to get into our back. So we open our stance, and then when we do draw back, we make sure that there is either some core and the staunch NTS guys will fight back against this a little bit. My hips do open a little bit because of the natural anchor on the side of the face as opposed to under the chin. So I'll give you an example of that. The other thing that draw holds will allow you to get comfortable with the tip of the arrow wherever your aiming point is, whether it's on the gold like Grayson, whether it's a lollipop like myself. John Dillinger's switched to on the gold as well. So I mean, there's definitely multiple camps to that, and it depends on what works best for you. When I put the tip of the arrow on the gold, I can hold forever. It's like putting the pin in the middle of the gold shooting compound or Olympic recurve. For me, that is. But I really like the lollipop because I like seeing the arrow come out of the bow, and I like seeing the arrow hit the target. It gives me immediate feedback on my shot. I am a huge proponent of feedback. Feedback after the shot. What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? What did I do great? Every single shot, that's running through my brain. That's where the mental control and the ability to fight through target panic comes from, is the ability to identify the issues and then provide yourself with immediate feedback after the shot. It's a huge thing. Another thing that draw holds do that I want to mention is your hook. So I have a habit of getting too far out on my fingers. And as soon as if I am in the crease of my top finger or slightly in front of, my panic sets in immediately. The other thing that happens, it's an indicator for me that my hook is getting too shallow, is that I start hitting my nose. Well, I start hitting my nose because instead of with my hook being in this position, my hook should be here. Well, when I go here, it sets the string further away from my face just a little bit, enough that it clears my nose and I don't hit. So I know the two things. Hitting my nose is feedback for me that either one, my alignment isn't good because I collapse at full draw and I miss left, or I'm getting too shallow on my hook. If I'm getting too shallow on my hook, my feedback is that I find it more difficult to hold my point on the bottom of the gold, and I also find it that my release gets really inconsistent. So I'll give you an example of what a shallow hook would, I don't want to do this, I'm gonna hit my nose. What a shallow hook's gonna look like. Hand comes way out. I missed left, as usual. And then I'll show you what the hand position looks like on a deeper hook. Deep hook for me gives me so much more control of my release. I feel more confident. I feel more relaxed in my aim when I have that good strong hold on my release. The other thing that allows me to do is come straight back instead of wanting to come straight out. This is me. I'm not saying that this is necessarily going to happen for you, but I've seen it happen for others as well. Those are my first 2 shots. I'm going to shoot a third one here. I'm going to try to make it like 100% perfect. I'm not going to try. I think I'm just going to do it. Felt really good. Shoot another one. I can tell you that I notice with my bow, the other thing that I believe that doing draw holds does, and doing them consistently, is it helps you establish a solid bow arm here. It's the other part of the feedback that after the shot gives you an indicator of whether or not you are going toward the gold or wherever your arm is afterwards. And when we do subtle drive-bys, oftentimes that bow arm is still moving. What we get into a habit of is we get the tip of our arrow where we need it to be, and then we just let go of the string instead of pull through the string and let the string pull through your fingers and come straight back. I have that problem. Every once in a while you'll see my fingers will open up really wide. And that's me trying to control the release too much instead of letting go of the control and allowing my process and allowing my subconscious to fall back into the patterns that I've developed by doing the blind bill and doing the draw holds and doing all of those things that refine the process, the individual components of our shot. So, hey, thanks for watching. I hope this video helps you out, especially if you're having some of these issues or if you're implementing draw holds into your training. If you would, please check out our podcast, Barebow Project Podcast. Our Facebook group has a plethora of information, and our YouTube page is growing every week. So thanks again for watching. Good luck out there for the rest of you, finishing up your indoor seasons, and as we go into at least in America, the field and 3D season. Have a good one. Thank you very much.